Commanders versus Cowboys kicks us off on Christmas Day, 1:00. We have the Cowboys favored by 5.5 points on the road against the Washington Commanders here. Grant, as the Commanders fan, overall your season has not been very good. You were competitive, at least in the first half, against the Philadelphia Eagles. Then it all fell downhill. Did you think it was going to be that big of a slide in the second half?
I did, because the Eagles were the better team. They're the healthier team, and the Commanders' season from hell on the injury standpoint has only gotten worse. In this game, Marcus Mariota goes out, Brandon Coleman goes out, Johnny Newton goes out, more guys whose names are escaping me, but there's just been, it's like some higher power has looked down upon them and said, this is not your year.
Yeah, the injury bug has been brutal for them. On the flip side, the Dallas Cowboys lost 34-17 to the Chargers. The Cowboys were actually a 2-point favorite in this game, and unfortunately did not score in the second half, which is rare. It's unlike the Cowboys with their defense. If they don't score in the second half, there's going to be trouble. So how do you see this one playing out on Thursday?
Well, in the interest of being responsible, I would tell everyone, if you're betting on this game, and honestly, if you're looking for a game that might be competitive, like maybe this is the most competitive game of Christmas Day. I don't know. These aren't three great games. This one has a chance to be good, just because these teams are bitter rivals. They hate each other. Maybe the Commanders show up somehow. But if you are betting on this game, my best advice would be wait to see if Mariota is playing or not, because while for most teams, the drop-off between the second to the third string might not be a lot, Mariota is like a borderline starter in this league for a bottom 5, bottom 7 team. So going from him to Josh Johnson is a big fall-off. With that being said, if Mariota is ruled out, this line's going to move from 5.5 to I don't know what. So for that very reason, I don't expect Mariota to play. Again, I don't know why they would risk it at this point in the season. Mariota has become their starter. I'm sure they're honestly prioritizing his long-term health the same way they're prioritizing Jaden Daniels, because Mariota has gotten on the field so much. So the fact he has the stitches in the hand, he's got the leg injury, he was evaluated for the concussion, I think they might just pull him, which means I think you're going to get Josh Johnson here. And I don't care if the Commanders are at home. They were getting blown out by every team in the league at full strength. So getting Josh Johnson against the Cowboys, who already, with 2 weeks left to go, have a 4,000-yard passer, an 1,100-yard rusher, a 1,000-yard receiver, a 1,300-yard receiver. This Cowboys team can score points on anybody. The Commanders have had one of the worst defenses all year. You're telling me Josh Johnson is the guy who has to go point for point with them? I don't see that working out. I don't see it working out with Mariota. So the fact that it's probably Johnson, I would be betting the Cowboys.
Their peak, I think, for the Commanders, obviously once things started to go downhill, but their peak in the second half of the season was losing to the Broncos in overtime. That was kind of the peak of Commanders football.
100%. That was I think the Chargers game was in week 5 where they dominated the Chargers. And since that point, that's definitely been their best one. That was better than their win against the Giants, which is the only win they got in that stretch. It was definitely the Broncos game.
So Josh Johnson's actually played 48 games in the NFL. He's been in the league since 2009. He's made $12 million. That's pretty crazy, honestly, for him to stick around that long.
Well, how about we run through the teams that he's played on? Buccaneers, Browns, Bengals, Jets, Ravens, 49ers, Commanders, and then he's been signed to like 10 other teams as well.
Well, he's a journeyman. He's been across the board.
It wouldn't surprise me if he has the NFL record for most teams that he's played on.
He's pretty close. I mean, his family has definitely moved around for sure. I mean,
well-traveled, yeah. His kids probably hate him. They got to make new friends at school every year.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of these guys that travel all the time, they just like during football season, they just leave their kids and family in one spot because like you can't move them every single year, you know?
A lot of them do, yeah. I remember hearing JJ Redick talk about how he lived in Brooklyn when he played for the 76ers, just because that's where his family was stationed.
Yeah, definitely. So the pick that I like most in this game, honestly, Grant, no matter if Mariota plays, no matter if Josh Johnson plays, I kind of lean towards the Cowboys first half spread -3.5. I mean, Dallas has been done mentally. They've been out of it. I think they're going to absolutely roll here early on in this game.
Yeah, I run that up. I'm telling you, I'm betting everything Cowboys here. And I wouldn't have said that the Commanders would be beating the Eagles at halftime last week, which they were. Never would that have occurred to me. But the one thing we can say about the Eagles is they have had these offensive issues all year long. And the Commanders, even though the Cowboys are the Commanders' biggest rivals, based on last year, I think this specific group of players looks at the Eagles as more of their biggest rivals. But the Cowboys can score points on anybody. That's not a question. We don't know if Jalen Hurts is going to throw for 20 yards and a half sometimes. So the fact that we have that confidence in the Cowboys, yeah, I got no hesitation betting on them.
Yeah, so when you look at just the Commanders overall this season defensively, it's been a pretty rough year. They rank bottom 8 in passing yards allowed per game, 241 yards allowed per game. They are giving up the 6 most points in the NFL, 26 points per game, 26.9. So it's an offense that for the Cowboys that I think is going to have a lot of success in this game. I'd lean over on the Cowboys team total. I'd lean over on the Cowboys, alternate spreads. But my question for you, Grant, like, is this the trap game for the Dallas Cowboys? Like division game plus 5.5, like on the road, both teams really don't care anymore. Now you got CD Lamb and George Pickens, diva receivers kind of thing. I mean, not CD, but George Pickens, diva receiver. What do you think?
No, not at all. In fact, I would be betting on George Pickens to score a touchdown in this game. The dude has been sensational all year. Even since CD has gotten back, George Pickens has still been the better receiver. He's got 9 receiving touchdowns this year, had one last week. He had 7 for 130 and a touchdown against the Chargers here. I get it. They are going on the road. It's a short week and everything like that. But I mean, the Commanders are starting. Their starting corners right now are 5'8" Mike Sainer still. Noah Igbenogany starting in the slot, who was inactive at the start of the year, and then Antonio Hamilton Sr., who is a 32-year-old off of the practice squad.
Okay, there you go. Hey, speaking of diva receivers, I want to ask you this real quick before we talk about props for this game. What did you think of DK Metcalf throwing a punch?
I hope he enjoys that suspension. I hope he's got the checkbook ready. That's all I'll say.
He's got to miss a game, don't you think?
Easily. I mean, if you get a game for punching a player, for punching a fan is insane.
Why the hell were they letting him go over there and talk? I mean, he did. It was pretty quick when you see the alternate angle. He goes over, grabs the dude by the neck, and then throws the punch. But like, I would have been like, security, hey, we should break this up somewhere. Team security, field security, bleacher security. Why are we letting this happen? Why are we letting a fan get that close to a player either?
Yeah, where's Big Dom when you need him?
Yeah, Big Dom would have never
would have flown on his watch.
But DK Metcalf actually had a hell of a game yesterday. So good for him. Maybe that fired him up a little bit. But he will be paying a lot of money. So we got props in this game, Grant. You want to start?
Well, I said that I like the George Pickens touchdown plus 135. I'm seeing these odds, and I haven't even shopped around. You might be able to get even better odds than that. Going back to also what I said about him being better than CD, even since CD's gotten back. CD's plus 125 at FanDuel, which is where I'm looking right now. Pickens is plus 135. Pickens leads the team with 9 receiving touchdowns. So I got no hesitations betting on him in that respect. CD only got 3 touchdowns this entire season. Jake Ferguson has 7. So you can get some better value certainly from that perspective. And then we don't have a line for it, but the Josh Johnson under. Josh Johnson to throw an interception. Something about Josh Johnson being bad. He came into the game, and within 5 minutes, he had thrown a cross-body, cross-field interception. It's just not going to be good.
Yeah, the one to DeJean, right? That was bad.
I think it was DeJean, yeah.
Yeah, he ran. Yeah, that was a terrible throw. But again, that's what you get for a 12-year, 13-year, whatever NFL vet. So just barely played football in his career.
He's got to be longer than that. He's 39 years old.
Yeah, let's see. Josh Johnson year. So he should be good then.
He was actually drafted too. He was drafted in the 5th round.
08. My God.
Let's see. Exactly.
1, 2, 3, 4. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So he didn't play from 2018 to 2021.
Well, I'm sure he was playing. He was on a practice squad somewhere.
But like official stats. But he might have been in like the XFL or something too. I feel like he's an XFL guy.
All right, here, I'll tell you, because I'm on his Wikipedia page. Oh my gosh.
An XFL guy? He was definitely an XFL guy.
So Buccaneers from 2008, 2011, 49ers in 2012, the Sacramento Mountain Lions in 2012.
Who are
Then
they?
to the Cleveland.
It's got to be arena football. I'll look it up. You tell.
They were professional. They played in the UFL.
Okay.
So in 1 year, in 2012 alone, he's on the 49ers, the Mountain Lions, and the Cleveland Browns. We're at 3 NFL teams so far. In 2013, he's on the Bengals. In 2014, he's on the 49ers again. So that's 5 stops, but only 4 teams. In 2015, he's back on the Bengals, and then he's on the Jets, and then he's on the Colts, and then he's on the Bills, all in 2015. In 2016, he's on the Ravens and the Giants. In 2017, he's on the Texans. So we're already at 10 teams. He's on the Raiders in 2018, as well as the San Diego Fleet, and then Washington. So we're on 12 NFL teams. The Lions in 2019. In 2020, he's on the Los Angeles Wildcats and the San Francisco 49ers. In 21, he's on the Jets and the Ravens. In 22, he's on the Broncos. So add them to the list. He's also on the 49ers. He's with the Ravens from 23 to 24, and then he's with the Commanders from 25 on. So we're at 14 NFL teams. If we include multiple stops and UFL teams, he's been on like 25 different teams.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. He's going to get wrecked on Thursday, so good for him. But I have a few props in this game, Grant. One, I'm going to give you a long shot right now. I'm going to give you extreme long shot, and it's probably not going to hit. Most likely, probably I'd say 99% chance it doesn't hit. But what if it hits? You never know. How about a Luke Schoonmaker touchdoam on Thursday?
I thought you were going to say a Josh Johnson touchdown.
No. I mean, maybe that probably has a better chance of hitting than Luke Schoonmaker scoring for sure. Josh Johnson's going to run the ball a little bit around the goal line, maybe scramble. I don't know. But yeah, how about a Luke Schoonmaker touchdown? Reward the kid, end of the season. Absolutely no chance of making the playoffs. Now you got it for 9-1. Ferguson maybe says, hey, let's get Luke Schoonmaker in the game. Let's let him run a route around the goal line. You just never know. And he has caught touchdowns in his career. So I think maybe worth taking there. He's had a catch in 3 of his past 5 games. Maybe it's around the goal line. Maybe it's a little more burn here, especially against the Commanders team when they're going to be up by, 2-3 touchdowns probably throughout the majority of the game. So I don't hate that. I'd also go over when it comes to the George Pickens receiving yards, 80.5 here. He is 3rd in the NFL with 1,342 yards. This is the perfect spot for him. Had 130 last week against the Chargers, as you were saying. Then was pretty bad the past 2 weeks against Minnesota and Detroit, but those were big time, games for the team. Obviously, they did not work out in their favor with the Lions and the Vikings both losing those games. I expect them to win. When they win, he tends to go off 88 yards against the Chiefs and then 146 against the Eagles the week before. And then, as I was saying, the Commanders defense, one of the worst in the NFL against the pass. So pretty much any passing prop, any receiver prop you can find this week, if you bet a lot of them, chances are I think you're going to go over on most of them just because of how bad Washington is and how badly they're beaten up on defense.
I'll give you one more. I mean, I'll be honest. I like a lot of these Cowboys lines. Jalen Tolbert plus 750. I could see something like that. But I'll give you one. I'm really reaching into the depths here. How about now? Wait until an hour before kickoff. See if he's even playing or not, because Jaden Blue has been inactive. Coach's decision. He had an injury earlier in the year. But to your point, Cowboys out of the playoffs. We drafted this guy. Maybe he's given us some problems on the practice field or whatever the reason is, he's been inactive. But if they play him, Jaden Blue for plus 1,800, you bet $1, you win 18 off of it. So if you bet 10, we're looking at 180 there. If he's a running back and he's playing, I think the Cowboys will be dominating this game. I think they will move the football, so they're going to be near the goal line. And if it does end up being a blowout, they're not going to be running Javonte Williams. It would be the kid out there.
A few other ones I like here. I like that as well, taking a chance on some long shots. But CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens' long reception right now is only 26.5 yards. They're just going to be throwing the ball up and down the field. So 26.5 is extremely low.
Yeah, and let me pull up what happened the last time they played, because Pickens or CeeDee, I think, had a 76-yard touchdown. So Pickens is long. The last time he played the Commanders was 44, and CeeDee's was 74. Yeah, it was a 74-yard touchdown right before halftime.
And these are both at 26.5 right now. George Pickens in his past let's see, 5 games, 38, 17, 11, 39, 43. Like he's going to go over that line for sure. So I think those are really good props. There's so many in this game. This is like prop central. One other one that I wasn't like minding here. This is a Commander side because we haven't really given out the Commander side. Deebo Samuel under 4.5 receptions. It is -170, so you might want to stick it in like a same game parlay. Deebo, like he just kind of looks like a fat chipmunk on the field. Would you agree with that?
A chipmunk?
Kind of looks like a fat chipmunk. Like he looks like Theodore from Chipmunks.
So as someone who intently watches all of these games, and maybe I'm wrong, I'm not saying that this is definitive, but it does look like he has put on weight as the season has progressed.
I played him in fantasy last week, so I was really watching him, and they don't really use him. He's not very effective. Like I don't, maybe they did earlier in the season. I mean, he has 639 yards on the season, 5 touchdowns, but he had 3 receptions, 35 yards, 3 for 43, he had 4 for 27, 5 for 64. Like that's his past 4 games. Now you got Josh Johnson as your quarterback. Like maybe the screen game's going to be big with him. Maybe the quick game. I don't know, but I would take the under here. Seeing how he looks just physically, like Terry's the star. You're gonna throw the ball to Terry more than you're gonna throw to him.
Yeah, and Josh Johnson, I mean, I'm going back to the preseason here, but he does throw the ball down the field. Now it might go to the other team, but he will throw it.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, we got our props there. Anything else?
No, I think we're good to move on to the next one.
Wait, your kicker sucks, right?
Jake Moody. Yeah, he's I mean, we haven't really seen him kick for us, but he was like 35th in field goal accuracy this year.
He got cut from the Niners too, didn't he, back in the day?
Yeah, 40. Well, not even back in the day. Recently, he was a 3rd round draft pick for them 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's amazing, these kickers. Nobody cares about the kickers. But anyways, if you like Dallas to make the first field goal in this game, it's -116.